Hello, everyone. Welcome to our another episode of Kis Uni video series. I'm your host, Lee, and today we have a very special guest, founder, entrepreneur, and blog writer who likes to build ideas, Zarfishar Tayyab. Let's welcome her. How are you?
Thank you, Lee. I'm good. Thank you for having me.
First off, where are you right now?
So right now I'm in my office in Lahore, Pakistan.
Oh,
That's the short version.
okay, so second, tell us about your academic journey, especially focusing on high school slash middle school. What kind of student were you? What kind of interest did you have when you were young? Share us your view.
Okay, so I did like kindergarten all the way through O levels from Lahore Grammar School, Kent branch. And I was a standard overachiever kid. I wanted to, but it wasn't really that I had a thing for academics as much as it was that if people would say something that wasn't possible or that I couldn't do, that I had this kind of desire to prove them wrong. And like a
Oh,
lot of the motivation came out of like pure spite. So I ended up taking way more subjects in O levels than you should be taking. And I was like, no, I am gonna launch a conference, despite the fact that I'm super young and all of those things. So a lot of it was motivated out of spite. But over time, grow and as you learn, I switched schools because my school was only up to O levels, so schools, and then I ended up doing my A levels from LGS Defense Phase One, and there was a lot of personality growth, a lot of professional, personal development that I had there. I met a ton of different people who are doing amazing, wonderful things. Projects that were very scaled, on a national level. I had friends who were winning tournaments globally, and so I guess that sort of pushed me to also better myself and introduced me to the whole world of like applying overseas. And then I had a couple of people in the admin who supported me and encouraged me to apply for college abroad because I had like a little bit of I don't want to go abroad anymore. I'll just go to LUMS and live my best life and it's okay. But then some of my principals, they really, really encouraged. And then the short story is I ended up applying to a bunch of different universities in the US. Some of them worked out, some of them didn't work out because of different reasons. Some of them didn't accept me, some of them I didn't accept. And
oh,
eventually, yeah, eventually Duke Kunshan was a school that matched. And then I went there and then I studied in China and then the degree structure, you also study in the US. So then I went to the US and then I graduated and that's the academic journey part.
so I want to get deep into that. So as an A-level student who spends a lot of time researching about universities, despite all of that, who still have so much confusion in choosing universities among different countries. I want to hear your view. Why did you choose China and why did you end up going to China for university?
It's a very good question. So, a little bit of it was very circumstantial. Like, it was never in the plan. I was the kind of kid who was like, I'm either gonna go to Yale or I'm not gonna go to college at all. I'll just be a dropout and
Oh,
work on something. Yeah,
very similar.
but then yeah. But then Yale did take me. Now in hindsight, I know I can see why I wasn't a good applicant for Yale back then. It makes sense, and whatever, life happens. But when I did get the offer from Duke Kunshan, I never applied to Duke in the US because I didn't think it was a school that I was going to be a good fit for. Because something that's really important when you're choosing a college is the culture of the campus you're going to be attending. Because, you're going to study and learn things anywhere in the world. You can do that yourself, you can self teach. But the culture of an institution is what nurtures an individual. And I think that a lot of emphasis needs to be given on that, especially when you're in A levels and you're applying to university. Because at the end of the day, it's where you're gonna progress the best, the life after those 4 years. So with Duke Kunshan, honestly, it happened because they had like this offer, you can call it, which said that if you get accepted, we're gonna fund you for a trip to China. and you're gonna get to come and experience the campus and get a feel for what it's like, because it was a new university and I was applying as the inaugural class, so I was applying to a university that did not exist. That's pretty risky looking
Yeah,
back at
very
it.
risky.
Yeah. um so I was like, okay, yeah, now let's go, because I was just thinking about, wow, I'm gonna get to see Shanghai, that's amazing. And then I went there, and over time, during those like a couple of months, I developed an interest in business, and I started working. I co-founded this company that I'm still working on, um, which did medical equipment supplying for all of
uh,
Pakistan.
what's its
Yeah,
name?
within the field of it's called Tayyab Traders, so it's on my family name. Um, and I was like, there was interest around that as well, because manufacturing, when you think manufacturing, you think China. And now when you think tech, you also think China and artificial intelligence. So there was a little bit of interest, but that was honestly not the main thing. The main thing was the free trip to China. But then I
Oh,
went to campus and I met these amazing people from all across the world. And we were all borderline crazy because we were all attend a university that didn't exist, and we were all there. And I had friends from the US, from like European countries, Italy, France, and the UK, and Turkey, and Kazakhstan, and Malaysia, and Singapore. And in that moment, I realized that I go in the world, no matter how, like, even if I go to school in the US, and this kind of diversity and this kind of ratio. Um, and that's honestly what compelled me to attend. The people that I met over there were the selling point of the university. And
and
then the campus, it's built on a pond, and water bodies are beautiful.
oh, really? On the
There's
pond.
that.
That's really
Yeah.
cool. And so you mentioned that your passion for entrepreneurship and business grew when you were in universities. So please tell us more about that. So how did you develop those skills in universities? And also a second question, like at the same time, when you were in China for university, the COVID happened, and China is one of the country which is most affected by COVID. How did you deal with that when you were there?
Okay, I'll answer the first question first. So, my love for entrepreneurship, we can call it that. It didn't start in university. It was definitely there since childhood. And I think the credit goes to my dad, because he's a really, really good risk taker, and he's one of the bravest people I've seen, because he just goes and does things. Like it doesn't matter what sector it is. If he decides to do something, he just goes straight on. So I think a lot of it was, when socialization that I had and everything. Um, and then now that I look back, I think I had that element in me even in high school when we were launching, when I in LGS Can't, I launched the first ever MUN conference that we did. And that was a really entrepreneurial thing, because I was in grade 10 O levels. All the people that were working with me, we were all just O level students, and we had no idea what we were doing. But it felt nice to wear a suit, and walk in heels and stuff. So we were just doing. Um,
Cool.
but then in university, what happened was, I think exposure really helped with all these amazing people, and some of the professors I got to meet, and some of the like administrative members. That I think that was like the defining factor. And being an inaugural class, it has so many disadvantages, because you never. I don't know what a traditional college experience is, because mine was completely different from what most people will ever have in their lifetime. So it was like you're building everything with the institution. So just joining Duke Kunshan was a very startup thing to do. Because as in the inaugural class, you're building an entire place. You're building culture, you're building institutions,
Oh,
and as students, you're working with the admin. You're building curriculum policy, and you don't even realize you're doing that. And you're just like in these boardrooms with all these people that
oh,
you
that's really
know
cool. So yeah, you were the first generation of the university who built all the system and culture. Wow, that's really cool.
yeah. So I think that's a very special experience. And then I think that reaffirmed that this is what I want to do, and it doesn't matter what industry it is. It's just really, really fun to build ideas. And then I had like some small startups in China with two of my friends from the United States, and even that was so much fun. Like we were working, but it was more about staying up at 2 a.m. and trying to order McDonald's and being extremely high on sugar and just terrible diets. So it's like those kind of things.
Life of an
But then
entrepreneur.
yes, but honestly, don't do that. Nutrition is important. Sleep is important. It's not sustainable.
Correct.
Yeah, but you would know as well. I mean, what you're doing at Kiss, is that how you pronounce it?
Kis Uni, it's a university startup founded by Mahat Imran. We are basically aiming to provide guidance to A-level and like matric students, inter students regarding the university, local university focusing on. So we provide them podcasts, we provide them university guideline and mentors, and just the basic, guidance.
Yeah, see,
That's what
that's
we do.
really good.
So
Yeah, and
yeah,
you're
so as an entrepreneur, as an experienced entrepreneur, you also did mentorship and LUMS, right? If I'm not wrong. And you also, and aside from that, you also did several other mentorship. So in the view of aspiring and established entrepreneur, what do you think about our business model?
are you putting me on the spot? um, I think that when it comes to business, nobody can give you better advice than the people who are running it because you know
Oh,
the market you're doing.
that's so true.
Um, yeah, you know this stuff better. I can like I can come in as an external person and be like, oh, this is wrong, that is wrong. You can fix that. This is great, but that's the maximum I can do for you. Spend time with you, someone who understands your team, and that's where the most value comes in. Unless it's a very specific problem you're asking to solve, like, oh, we want to expand to 24 different cities. I think then an external person experience in scaling, they would be able to come in and help you. um, but yeah, um, there's too much unsolicited advice for founders out there, and I think that a big skill you should teach yourself like what to listen to and what to just ignore.
That's true. So let's get back to the old question, and I want to link it to the new one. So, um, during COVID, you founded lots of like several startups, right? So how was that experience as during
It
COVID?
was yeah. So let me answer the question that I forgot to answer that you asked. So you said I was in China when COVID happened. That is true. Um, and then I had to leave China because COVID happened. So our university, in January. So in China they have like a Lunar New Year. So that's like a 10. The entire country is shut down. Nobody works. It's just party time.
Oh,
um, and it was Lunar New Year holiday when we were on like you can call it spring break to understand it easily. So we were there, and we're getting these emails from university, and suddenly we get one which says we're extending the Lunar New Year holiday by 5 days, and we were super happy. And then 30 minutes later, they send another email that's like, if you can leave China by January 30th, we highly encourage you to leave the country. And then we're like, what? And then another email comes like I think 2 hours after that. We're gonna fund everyone $1,000 to leave like as soon as
so
possible.
it's before
And
the news came out.
yeah, it's way
Also,
before
they
the news
knew
came
it.
out.
So they knew it before the
Yeah, because
official
in China,
announcement.
like yeah, and during early January, I think Wuhan started to shut down. Like in China, there was a lockdown. You couldn't go to Wuhan by public transport. All the employees at my university, because fun fact, Duke Kunshan is a joint venture with Wuhan. So
And Duke.
yeah, so there was a lot of like people coming from there over to our campus. It was like a 90-minute train ride to both places, and they banned all the employees from coming over there, no matter how high up in the administration they weren't allowed to come on campus. So I think DKU knew something was not okay, and yeah, then they told us to leave. And then that was after the initial 1 month of me coming back to Pakistan, where I was like, wow, I love this, I get cousins' weddings and everything. It was a really bad time because you're so used to like life, and you miss all your friends and you don't get closure, and online school, which we also pioneered as an institution, is not fun. And so all these things are, they started getting a toll on me, and that's when I decided, okay, I need to do something with my time. I can't continue to live like this.
I can relate to
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. And then I wanted to start a boba company, honestly, because
Boba. Oh,
I
so like
was,
that drink.
yeah,
I think it's a
yeah,
really good idea. Yeah. So I think it has been started in Pakistan, Karachi. I've seen multiple
that's,
places, but
yeah, that's
back
what
in
happened to me. I learned how to make it myself, and I tried a couple at my home, and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna like take this to different schools and, sell it institutionally, and it'd be so good. And then like, I think
trendy.
in yeah, in a few days, like, there's this place that I really really love now, Taro Tea House in Lahore. They opened up and they were like a designated boba shop, the first one in Lahore. And I was like, okay, well, that market's gone. So then I started, yeah, a couple of other things. I launched a luxury furniture company.
Oh,
um yeah, that was manufacturing and designing, and we had 40 plus contractors across Pakistan that were,
oh,
designing furniture pieces for us. Yeah, so that was how I, spent a lot of my time trying to do that, on
during
top of online school.
boring time. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I've seen your LinkedIn profile. The first thing I saw was Catalyst Labs. What's that, and what do you do? How did you join it, first of all, and what do you do as a Women's Leader Fellow?
So Catalyst Labs is one of my favorite organizations in the world, and this is like a very underwhelming introduction to the place. It's founded by this amazing woman, Jahanara, who I think has built Pakistan's startup ecosystem for over the last 3 decades. She was the founder of Pasha, which is a community for software housing. She's on the board of TikTok's cybersecurity wing. She's on the board of the special. She was, I don't know if she's still doing that, but she was the prime minister's advisor to digitizing Pakistan. And she has launched so many startups in Pakistan, like so many. And also, she's very well known in the global startup community in Google and Amazon and everything. So, um, and before this, she was running this accelerator, Nest.io, and then she launched Catalyst Labs, and then that was launched. And then they opened up these applications. So there were two wings. One was an incubator for startups, and the other wing was to train women on how to become better leaders and to make sure that you equip um, young girls or like not young, like any age girls and women to accelerate in their career no matter what they're doing, whether they're running their own business in a corporate organization. And I was actually not qualified to apply for that. I was too young because I think they were looking for people who were like 5 6 years into industry work, but I did it anyways because I read some book which was, talking about how you should just do things and don't hold yourself back. And I was like, okay, you
Risk
know what, I'm
taker,
gonna do
risk
this.
taker.
Yeah,
Just like you went to DKU.
yeah, I guess. So I applied there, and then I was very shocked when they called me back for like a screening interview, and then I was pretty sure they were not gonna take me for the screening because. And then eventually they sent me an email saying that I'd been accepted, and I was on cloud nine. So that's how I joined them. And then recently I attended like the largest tech and business and
Conference.
startup conference in Pakistan. Yeah, that they hosted. So that was also very lovely because I'm so glad to see Pakistan finally bringing together like-minded people on one single platform. You can meet them and you can learn from them, and it's very very wholesome.
Oh, so another question, follow-up question. What do you think about the Pakistani startup ecosystem? And I think you also wrote a article on it, if I'm not wrong.
Oh, that was actually college work. I could do research on anything, so I chose to do that with a focus on fintech. Um, and then I got really, I have so much gratitude for Noreen Hayat, the CEO, who agreed to, just let me come in and ask her all kinds of questions about her business, and she was so open and honest. So that was that. But I think for this Pakistani startup ecosystem, Lee, you have to understand we're a huge country. Like I think people forget that we're 220 million people.
Mass
The
market.
fifth, Yeah, we're the fifth most populated nation in the world. It's such a big market that, even if you keep hearing about these companies that are building and, getting these investments, there is still so much room to improve and come and grow here because there's just so many of us.
Yes,
There will
just
always be, yeah, there'll always be a subgroup of people who have a need that you can solve for. And
untapped
I think
market
in
basically.
Pakistan, exactly, yeah. And I think in Pakistan, the thing is, there's so much to solve for. There's business needs that you can actually fulfill. You don't have to you're not gonna have to use crazy marketing techniques to try to sell your product. If you're building something that people need, word's gonna spread like super fast. And I think I'm not the only one saying that. I think data speaks better than my opinions. And each year, each quarter, our country is raising more and more seed funding, pre-seed funding. Like it's accelerating upward trajectory. Even if it's slowing down, it's on a growth trajectory, like positively. And the slow, like it might slow down a little because of the global recession that we're in, a little bit of a crisis internationally,
Right now,
but
yeah.
yeah, but I think still, even then, you're seeing countries raise $10 million in Series B, and then they're expanding so well. And so I'm very, very, very optimistic about this place.
So are you
We have
planning to
challenges, but yeah.
so
Sorry, go ahead.
are you planning to do your own business over here or abroad in the future?
Um, I can't really answer that question as of now. It's because I would definitely want to build in Pakistan. I really believe in the market a lot. Um, but then, I think if we build something that the rest of the world can also benefit from, then you should definitely, why not? Why not go beyond borders?
What's your vision? What are you trying to achieve out of this work you do?
I wish, wow, that's a deep question. This is like
Yeah,
more like a
like
3 a.m.
goal, like goal.
conversation.
That's that's so true.
My goal. What are my goals?
So
I think
like
they're
why
very
do you do all of
simple.
it?
It's really simple. It's because I enjoy it. I really enjoy learning, and this is the most learning I do. I have like this ongoing joke with people that are close to me, like people that ask me what did I major in, and I just say I'm a student of lifelong learning because
Mm.
like they think I'm
I'll
joking, but
use
I'm
that
really
answer. I'll
not.
use that answer.
Yeah,
Use it.
but people think I'm like just making it up, but I'm really not. It's the most honest thing I can tell people. Like that's what I'm doing. I think the vision is, I want to build meaningful products, meaningful things. And I really want to bring other people up with me because I read this book, Zero to One, written by Peter Thiel, who was one of the six OG talent. And then he became an investor in his friends' companies, which today are LinkedIn, YouTube. Um, so and he made this point that you're only gonna if you want to get really really far, you bring other people with you, you go far together with people. So I guess that would be the vision. I just really hope whatever I do brings value to people's lives and I can help them and give back to the country.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
And any advice
Need
for
a lot of
our
it.
viewers? This is the last question. Our
um
viewers are mostly A levels and intermediate students who have really confusion in choosing universities and deciding their career path.
I think when you're young and particularly in A levels and enter, you're really really worried about what university am I going to go to, how am I going to get this. And for some reason, I think our society forces you to narrow down a career path.
Doctor,
But try
engineer.
not to, yeah, try to not let that happen to yourself because our generation, like it's already projected to change 30 different careers over our lifetime. So none of us will have a stable job. The meaning of work is changing, how you're going to earn money is changing. People, like if you do something that you really really value, that you're really good at, like that you can build a skill that's really marketable, the money is going to follow you. So um, try
That's
to
true.
it's really risky. Yeah, allow yourself the space to actually learn and actually explore. If you want to be a doctor and engineer, that's amazing, but only do it if you really want to do
Really
it.
want, yeah.
Yeah, don't do it because you think that's what's gonna get you a job, or I don't know, like
I
your
think
parents told you to do that or any of that stuff.
that's a really, really wonderful advice. Thanks for your time, Zarfishar Tayyab. I'm really, 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 really honored to have you in this podcast. And thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
for
much
your
for having me,
time.
Lee. It was a lovely chat. Good luck with
Good.
everything.
Good luck with your business adventure and everything. I also have a same dream. I think your vision and my vision really, really match. So I think I hope to see you in the industry, startup industry really soon.
Likewise, I'll meet you on the other side of the table.
Thank you.